A warm welcome back to your latest industry recap today. There's focus on Etihad Airways, struggles at an airline with engine problems, and Boeing 777s for sale. What better place to begin than there? Thai Airways has, you could say, transformed its fleet over the last decade, moving from what could only be described as older and inefficient aircraft to relying more heavily on next-gen planes. However, removing aircraft isn't as easy as dumping them in, say, the recycling bin, like maybe a file on your computer, and Thai Airways has had an uphill battle to sell the aircraft that it has removed from service. The sale of these aircraft is at its fair share of problems. However, these are primarily driven by the fact that the aircraft being shipped off are not just old, but incredibly unfavourable in market conditions, and this is what led to the slow sale process in the past. And in the past, concerns have been also raised about the inability to get these planes to the company that potentially would purchase the goods, this proving difficult. Ultimately, these planes have been sale for some time. In most recent updates, the CEO of Thai Airways International stated that 12 aircraft do remain for sale. This also includes the 6 Airbus A380s that are awaiting delivery following a contract for sale being signed. The sale of aircraft then primarily involves Boeing 777s that have been removed from the fleet for other modern, efficient aircraft types. However, Thai Airways has stated that it's negotiating currently with interested parties and hopes to conclude a deal to ship these aircraft and relevant assets off by the end of the 2024 calendar year at best. By selling these aircraft, Thai Airways points to the fantastic amount of income that they can generate and pass on valuable parts or aircraft to companies that do need them. While Thai Airways has removed these Boeing 777s from its day-to-day flying, it is still committed to efficiently managing its assets until they are completely removed from the company, and this is a perfect example. With 12 units remaining, that figure was actually far greater in the past. You may recall Thai Airways was selling some of your more larger wide-body planes from the 747 to the A340. All of these aircraft previously staples of the business, but now no longer needed. Selling these aircraft also aligns with Thai Airways' overall plans to rebuild its business and focus really heavily on streamlining and generating more income wherever possible. A perfect initiative that is highlighting the progress made internally. Moving along on to the next story, and some fascinating developments with airBaltic, who you may recall only a couple of days ago I discussed with regards to aircraft orders. Well, they also reported a loss of some 90 million euros for the first half of this year, sparking some concern about their overall performance. When reporting those financial results, airBaltic knew the figures would raise concerns about maybe its long-term viability, but potentially they weren't aware of just how much discussion would come. The CEO has described it as hysteria and unwarranted given the complexities that they are facing. So what are they facing? Well, airBaltic is said to be impacted by the Pratt & Whitney engine shortages, which are affecting its ability to operate at an optimal schedule and obviously costing them truckloads in every single month that passes. Furthermore, the shortage has caused, and also you'd say rather accelerated, depreciation costs by engines that are forced to undergo not just mandatory inspections, but also shop visits, way ahead of when they initially planned on this type of thing occurring. The shop visits are, you probably guessed it, directly related back to the powdered metal issue. This one of the hottest topics of conversations in the last 18 months across our industry. And while it does affect airBaltic, many other airlines right around the world are feeling something very similar. You'd probably say, though, it is a varying degree of overall impact, and of course how airlines are mitigating this. airBaltic added that it also experienced a colossal amount of one-time costs during the first half of the year, preventing it from thriving financially. Despite these comments regarding the financial performance in the first half of the year, outsiders were, as you would expect, very quick to question the company. Speaking with Thomas Pedersen, an aviation expert, said that airBaltic's business model is not not the right one, which is an interesting claim. He says it is a business model that requires a significant, and he highlighted that, amount of investment and a hope of becoming profitable sometime in the future, something which obviously can't be confirmed until you finally see that happen. Interestingly as well, the hope of airBaltic rests on the case that Latvia needs this company, airBaltic being the Latvian flag carrier. Without it, the argument is there that air travel to and from this region not only wouldn't be possible, but would really hurt the economy. This argument is felt in many other countries right around the world, but Peterson argues it isn't enough to sustain this company. He also went on to note that based on a loan from the market at 14.5% interest in the past, the business is, and I quote, just a pyramid scheme in financial terms, and at some point it just has to collapse. These comments, however, have received pushback from others who have stated that their outlandish nature is aimed solely at creating that word again, hysteria, and where possible, attempting to lower the company's overall value. Furthermore, according to those that are close to the airline, the comments do not reflect the current situation and internal difficulties, from engines to one-time costs, that they are, and I should repeat, are looking to navigate slowly but surely. And moving on to the final story in today's recap, Etihad Airways has published its traffic figures for July, revealing pretty big increases in the total amount of passengers carried. Across the month, they transported 1.7 million. This represents an increase of around 500,000 yearly due to growth. The fleet also experienced increases in the space of 12 months. For reference, 1 year ago in July, while the number of operational planes stood at 78, and that has now grown to 93, and because of the addition of new aircraft, the airline was able to expand its route network with the addition of 10 more destinations. And while, yes, there will be great focus placed on reaching new markets, which is always fantastic, this shouldn't be the only angle of focus. Etihad Airways has also increased flying to existing markets that required additional capacity, and in some more exciting news for specific cities, they've maybe upgauged the aircraft on service to there. In the first 7 months, they saw passenger load factors move up 1 percentage point from 88 to 89. Despite an increase in overall fleet and passenger network, strong load factors are really to be encouraging and point towards Etihad Airways for the moment growing in the right sectors and being measured with its expansion. At the end of July, and therefore for the first 7 months of the year, Etihad transported 10.4 million passengers, an increase of almost 3 million in the 12 months, with load factors sitting at an average of 86%. Looking ahead, Etihad Airways is poised for future growth as it accelerates towards Journey 2030, which will see that fleet double and alongside its passenger network. The company's long-term ambition is to become a greater source of economic value to the UAE, and the increase in its fleet and network that I speak of will make all of this possible. If you have any thoughts on today's stories, let me know down below in the comments. Thank you very much for your support here on the channel. Take care. I'll see you same place, same time tomorrow for your latest industry recap.